Powered by Riverside.
Welcome back to the TheSadFan podcast, where we talk about the good, the bad, and everything that made you sad from the previous week. And we are officially in week 2 of NFL action. And maybe
You know what I like when I watch.
Excuse me, I'm talking to America right now.
I like popcorn and beers when I watch football.
I bet you do. But we got, some Giants action. And are they better than we thought they were through 6 quarters, or are the Cardinals just trying to tank harder? We've got the 49ers just being the best team maybe in the NFL this year, or perhaps at least the best. No, they might be the best team because the Cowboys pretty much only have a defense at this point. Dak Prescott remains to be seen. Then we've got Packers and Atlanta, and Atlanta's 2-0 for some reason. I've got thoughts on Desmond Ridder because he is not good, and somehow that team is 2-0.
It's like when Tebow managed to win games.
I've got thoughts on Tebow as well, and Justin Fields, because, those two. I'm glad you made that correlation. And then the Browns paying the quarterback that allegedly committed almost 34 to 39 assaults, and he's not good. He's not good at all. And it's not just me saying he's not good because I don't like him as a human being. He's really not good according to metrics. He's not a good quarterback. So we're going to start off with the Giants and the Cardinals. And I know, America, that's not the most exciting subject, but I need to know, has a team in the NFL ever tanked this blatantly to where they're up by almost 30 points over 3 scores, and then somehow Daniel Jones, no, not right away in the second half, 8 minutes into the second half before they started their comeback, can come back on you in 4 quarters? Has that ever
Not
happened?
Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, Daniel Jones.
Yes, with no Saquon. With no Saquon Barkley, because Saquon Barkley was injured as well, and that's a theme. We're going to discuss that as well.
I was shocked because I stopped paying attention to that game at halftime, and then like a couple hours later, I was like,
"What is happening here?
How did they win?"
Yeah, right. How is this? What is happening here? Like I said, what is going on? Is this a thing?
Did half their team get dysentery?
They were, I think, if I'm correct. Now, unfortunately, in pre-production, we didn't look this stat up, so I'm gonna fly fast and loose here. I think they were the worst team through 6 quarters as far as scoring differential is concerned ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were. They were. It was pretty phenomenal how bad they were. And I watched all of that game. Actually, I kind of just had it on in the background while I was doing some other stuff, and I was like, just kept on looking up, and I was like, this isn't gonna happen. Like, this is funny, but this isn't gonna happen. And then it did. And like, I every year, like, I'm just going into the season, I'm like, okay, yeah, the Cardinals are gonna suck, but how like, I just thought like maybe someone else was gonna take their new like bottom of the barrel like rank this year, and no, it turns out that they're still just right there.
San Francisco take their place in the basement of the NFC West. That'd be great. Thanks.
You're now Seattle won last week, so all of a sudden Wes's hopes and dreams are back. He was so nonchalant about not caring throughout the game. It's like, oh, whatever happens, happens. I just live life.
I mean,
I soar on the wings of eagles.
Great, but I mean, now, some fight this week. So
now you're back. So you're gonna show some fight. The team showed some fight. You gotta show me fight first, players, and then I'm gonna show some fight.
Francisco to be in the basement where they belong.
They're the best team in the NFL.
I know they're a good team, but I want them to be a crappy team.
I did not say good.
I want them to suck. Why is that so much to ask for?
Look, it seems like Chelsea, and we're not going down the fantasy road, but she only drafted players from the NFC West. Pretty much the Eagles and the the Seahawks and the 49ers. That's her entire team. It's very interesting because I think as a Seahawks fan, Chelsea might feel the same way you feel, except for when Brandon Ayuk got hurt on the first drive of the game, a single teardrop fell.
It did. That was tough. But yeah. I don't know. I'm still winning. Still winning the league. So whatever.
Lucci has something to say about that. But we will say this: Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffery, I guess Brock Purdy, but that 49ers offensive line. Then they have a player like Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Ward. Like they have a player at every level of their defense that's good or a star or a superstar, right? That team looks incredible right now. And Shanahan is a good coach. He just doesn't know how to pick quarterbacks. That's really just it. He just doesn't know how to pick quarterbacks because we all saw the Trey Lance fiasco. We saw what happened with Robert Griffin III. I mean, I think he turned Matt Ryan into an MVP the season the Falcons went to the Super Bowl. I do think Shanahan is a great coach. I'm sorry, Wes, that you want to see.
They their way into Brock Purdy.
I mean, he was Mr. Irrelevant, Wes.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't intentional. They just were like, oh, he might be a suitable backup. And they lucked their way into his starter.
Well, you know what else is lucky about that, Wes?
What?
His salary. I think he gets paid so low because he was the last pick in the NFL draft. But do you know what that allows?
A lot of star players.
Yeah, they can pay people, and they have them. They have, I think, more high-end contracts than any other team in the NFL because I think they're paying Fred Warner, they're paying Deebo Samuel, they're paying Christian McCaffrey, they're paying Trent Williams, they're paying Nick Bosa. I don't know where it ends. But anyway, we made the Seattle joke at the beginning of the show. How was your guys' anxiety there in that Lions game?
It was very high. Very high. That was a really difficult game to watch just because it was a mess on both sides of the ball. It just seemed like just kind of chaos until finally the Seahawks decided they wanted to win it, and so they went for it.
They went for it. So they decided.
I mean,
got it together.
When you have your bar set down here, you're just playing with house money at that point.
Refusing to show emotion, Wes. Wes is refusing. We're going to talk about Oregon here in a second, and I think if Oregon drops this game,
if Oregon is in that same game with Colorado, you bet my blood pressure is going to be up here. But maybe if it was versus Detroit in the playoffs.
You're treating the NFL like the NBA was exactly what I was about to say. You're trying to say, oh, it's just regular season. We're the two best teams in the NFC West. It'll be all right.
Are we, though?
You think the Rams are better?
Yeah. Okay. The Rams keep on winning. Matt Stafford looks like the old Matt Stafford.
The Rams lost.
I thought they won.
No, they lost. They were playing the 49ers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But Matt Stafford looks good. Matt Stafford looks as good as he ever did. He's back. And who's Puka? Puka Nacua? That guy's good too.
Yeah, he is.
I think Cooper Kupp's going to come back eventually.
Yeah.
So but Cam Akers is gone. Another phenomenal running back. So maybe as we talk about Shanahan and his quarterbacks, we start talking about McVay and his running backs, because he burnt out a pretty prominent running back there in Los Angeles a while back. Do you guys remember who it was? He was getting all kinds of commercials when they moved to California from St. Louis. Played in Georgia. Remember. Todd Gurley.
Oh, Gurley, yeah.
See how quickly we forget about Todd Gurley? Todd Gurley was a superstar in the NFL. So we've got a running back issue, guys. Here's the deal. Saquon Barkley was one of the running backs fighting for better pay. What happened to him when he got his $11 million? He signed the contract and then got hurt in week 2. Josh Jacobs, again, one of the prominent voices fighting for better pay for running backs. He has 30 yards this year in 2 weeks.
Okay? Nick Chubb. Another Georgia running back.
Another Georgia running back gets injured.
That made me sick to my stomach. Don't watch that. Don't watch it, people.
not suitable for work.
Yeah,
But
no.
when we talk about this running back pay Chelsea, does this hurt their argument?
Yeah, I think so. It just kind of seems like there's not a lot of traditional running back play right now, too. Like I don't know if you guys were actually like really watching the games. It was a little hard for me
I
because
don't
I
know if
have
you
Red
really
Zone.
watch, idiots.
Well, no. But I mean, like, just focusing like on that kind of stuff. But there were a lot of running backs taking receptions, and it's just weird. It is so weird to me. I'm like, no, you're supposed to just hand the ball off.
CMC.
Like, it goes for it. But yeah, it's like there's
CMC.
just it's a very like throwing centric game right now, and I don't know that I necessarily love it. It feels really different to me, just in terms of
So
like
old
the actual
school.
game
I
style.
love how you
know.
present.
She's like, where's my 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Yeah, she presents as very evolutionary and futurist, but then we really dig into like, I don't know about these players transferring all over the place. I don't know about these people not running the ball with their running backs. I'm like, Chelsea is an old school fan. She was, give me my football and my beer and shut up.
She's like, I want that LSU Alabama game where it was 9-6.
It better be Iowa, Alabama, 9-6, Wes.
Where's my corn-fed white boys?
So yeah, I mean, Chelsea, you're right. It is the evolution, and I think coaches figured out we have a numbers game, right? The NFL's a numbers game.
Chelsea's favorite position is the fullback.
Patrick Ricard and Kyle Juszczyk are our 2 favorite players.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
I think that is the start of the offensive genius here, is just realizing, oh, we have a numbers advantage, right? Because the offense does kind of have a numbers advantage, especially when you run a spread or if you have a running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield and you can create mismatches, right? No matter how good certain middle linebackers are, it's going to be very hard for them to drop into coverage against Christian McCaffery, who is a wide receiver playing running back. It's just going to be hard to do that. So when you start these running backs that can catch the ball, you have an advantage, and it's hard to stop. Now, no one's showing this better than Atlanta, who appear to be hiding their quarterback. Atlanta appears to be hiding Desmond Ridder in a lot of different ways, because who is he bad? Desmond Ridder is bad, and he keeps winning, and I don't understand
somehow.
it.
It's just like Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow somehow found a way to win.
How could they not win? Marcus Mariota can't be that bad, right?
Desmond Ridder's a winner.
Marcus Mariota can't be that bad, though. He can't be. He's better than Desmond Ridder. So how come he couldn't win in this offense?
I don't know.
Atlanta has a better defense this year.
I don't know.
Confusing,
Like,
right?
Everything
It's
I've heard,
confusing.
though.
I thought the Packers are going to... The whole time that game was on, one, I'm watching 2 quarterbacks that can... Well, I don't know. Desmond Ridder doesn't have a deep ball, but Jordan Love has a rocket arm, and he can't hit any wide receivers. He cannot. And in his defense, I think his 2 best wide receivers are either nicked up or out right now, but he cannot hit a wide receiver to save his life. He can't throw. I mean, anything intermediate, good. And this has been my issue with a lot of these very athletic quarterbacks, right? Even Josh Allen. Even Josh Allen sometimes has this issue where he has that rocket arm, but he just overthrows his wide receivers on deep balls. Now, he's gotten a lot better, and I'm hoping that some of these quarterbacks get a lot better. But I don't see Justin Fields getting better, and the Bears are terrible because of it. The Bears cannot win. Baker Mayfield went in there and outplayed Justin Fields. No matter
Justin
how much
Fields is terrible. Trust me, I know.
I have been warning you guys since last year, right? Ohio State quarterbacks, don't trust an Ohio State quarterback.
I'm ready to drop him for Matt Stafford.
So it's
or Russell Wilson.
It's very interesting because you know who else is trying this formula of just have a quarterback that can run and hit the intermediate routes or the short routes. The Indianapolis Colts are, right? And what happened to their quarterback over the weekend, Wes? What we saw was him go out with a concussion on his second touchdown of the game. He ran the ball again and then boom, gets hit. And it's that back of the head we forget about. Yeah. So he hits the turf and he looks fine. He's celebrating, out for the game, maybe out for 2 weeks with his concussion. right? So
That sucks.
it does suck. Same thing happened to Devontae Adams, but it appears he'll be ready to go. But that back of the head hitting the turf, that's what happened to Tua quite a bit last year, right?
Right.
And speaking of Tua, this was the night game, and obviously I can't watch it. I have to watch the replay on this. Okay? How boring is Bill Belichick without Tom Brady?
I mean, there's just not a lot happening. I mean, the most excitement that happened during that game is at the very end where Belichick threw down the challenge flag. That was the most exciting play of the game.
In front of the ref.
You're right in front of the referee. And he waited, too, for the referee to put his face there. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I know he's going to do it.
Dang it. Yeah, Mac Jones is not the solution.
Mac Jones is terrible, too. There's a lot of terrible quarterbacks in the NFL right now that I think we were all hoping would be good, and they're bad.
Yeah.
They're bad.
What were you going to say, Chelsea?
Oh, just you're absolutely right though. Like the Patriots just seem like really uninspired, and it just, I think it takes losing Tom Brady to miss Tom Brady, and that's truly the case.
Something you gotta let it go, baby.
It's truly the case with the Patriots. I have never been like a huge Tom Brady fan. I just found him. I get to this point with a lot of things where if it's like, it doesn't matter how good it is. It's like, if it's just oversaturated and I'm seeing so much of it, even if I was like, I'm rooting for that person, man. Like, it's just like, I don't want to see your face anymore.
Colorado.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. Like, I just, you get to a decade plus of Tom Brady and it's just like, oh man, but now that he's gone.
2 decades plus.
Bring him back. Unretire him. I don't care. I don't care if the commercials are joking. Unretire him.
Now we don't just have a constipated offense in New England because Mac Jones is terrible.
I think this settles the debate, though, that it was all Brady, not really Belichick.
Well, Belichick needs players. Every coach needs players, right?
How many years has he had since Brady left, though, to figure it out? And he hasn't.
Oh, I heard a great stat on the Dan Le Batard show the other day. Without Brady, Bill Belichick has a worse record than Dave Wanstad in the NFL. He's 79 and 89 without Tom Brady.
That gets any other coach fired.
Yeah, absolutely. When you got 6 rings, though, it's rough. It's rough, right? Ariana Grande sang the song, but it's all about them rings. So here's the thing, too, right? Not only is his offense uninspired and constipated, but he always takes away the other team's best players. He is really good at coaching defense. Despite what people say, despite the losses, Bill Belichick is great at taking away the offense's best player. And he took away Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill had some things to say about the Patriots fans. But I'm not going to go there. Where I'm going to go is, hey, Bill Belichick, if you're going to make one of the most exciting teams in the NFL kind of boring, if it wasn't for Raheem Mostert, they would have been incredibly boring. At least make your offense exciting to watch. At least make one part of that game fun to watch. If you're going to make a great offense boring as hell, make your offense at least a little bit more interesting. Go ahead, Wes. Okay. Sorry, I thought you signaled me with your fingers. You did like a thing. All right. No. Now, Alabama, as we got to hyper speed it. We got about 10 minutes left in the show. Alabama is terrible, right? Can we all agree on that? This is a terrible football team right now.
Who was it that they were playing? South USF, Alabama?
University of Southern Florida.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. It was tied at halftime. It was pathetic.
Absolutely. But I mean, we're week.
Sorry, man.
We're week 3.
University of Southern Florida.
How do you not have a quarterback figured out? How do you not have like some of your basics figured out? Like these guys come in like all spring, they train, and then they have all summer, and now we're here. And if there's one person that I am like completely afraid of in terms of locker rooms, it's Nick Saban. You just know he like just explodes in there when the cameras aren't rolling. Like someone is going to die. Who's getting beheaded? Who's getting the guillotine this week? Like
it should be Nick Saban, just like we're talking about Bill Belichick, except for like he's Nick Saban. It's not gonna happen. It's
not gonna happen.
I mean, they're still gonna go to like a New Year's Six bowl.
Of course they are. It's Alabama. Like, they're bad. They're really bad, and they open up their SEC play this week, and it's Milroe that'll be starting at quarterback again. So you're right, Chelsea. But I watched that game against USF. The other two quarterbacks didn't look good. At least Milroe can run around back there. The other two quarterbacks were really bad, really boring, really stiff. And let's just say, hey, all you freshman quarterbacks or portal quarterbacks, I think Alabama's going to be looking to pay some NIL money next year.
Oh yeah.
So I would be looking at Alabama if I was a quarterback. And speaking of quarterbacks, we got we've got one that looks really good in the Heisman conversation and one that has his AARP card coming up in what could be the best game of the weekend. And that is Oregon against Colorado. All right. So
go Ducks.
So, how are we feeling about this game? I want to clear the floor for you two because, like I said, I've been talking a lot this episode.
I gotta say, I did not expect Colorado to struggle against Colorado State at home. That was really pathetic. I know Travis Hunter came out with an injury, but
Colorado State did say something about Deion's mom that could have had them shook.
Oh my gosh. That was just like the most, like, I kept on seeing people, like, even people that I know getting really upset about that quote. And that was the most overblown thing. I'm like, you guys need to turn off the Sports Center. You need to turn off, like, the Deion cast. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, all you said is, like, you know, again, me going back to my traditionalist roots over here. Like, you take off your hat. You keep your elbows off the table. You know, you don't cuss inside the house when Mama's there. You know, that's how my mom raised me. That's nothing insane. That's not taking a swipe at Deion's mom. That's just saying, like,
it was kind of sexist, actually, because I think the direct quote was, his mom raised him better than that. I was raised to take off my hat and glasses when I talk to another man. So it's actually kind of sexist, the quote.
It was... Of all the things that, and all the crap talking that has been thrown out there and flung about on social media and, you know, everywhere these days, like, that is the thing that we're getting upset about. Like, please. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to this game. Like, I think it'll be really interesting. I think that Colorado definitely showed that they are reaching their ceiling.
Okay.
You know, Travis Hunter, like, yes, he's out, but he, like I said 2 weeks ago, like, the guy has played hundreds and hundreds, like almost 1,000 snaps in 3 games. Like, you can't keep that up. Like, I don't care how much conditioning you have. Yeah, no, I understand. I'm saying I understand that he's out. But, like, there's something going on there where, like, I just feel like they're over conditioned. Okay. Like, overtrained, and that it's going to start kind of biting them in the back, and they're approaching their ceiling. Like, this is where they're going to start really feeling the rigors of playing every single week, and I just don't think that they can maintain it. I mean, obviously, I may be eating my own words next week, but I hope not. And it's not like I think, like, Oregon is amazing. I don't think Oregon's shown enough yet to be, like, you know, talking about the playoffs or the Natty or anything like that. I swear,
I thought you were like talking about, and you were going to go into that. Hey now, I go, like, just the way you were setting it up. I was like, is she going to hit me with a music reference?
No, but go, like, you know, just winning it all, running the rest of the table. I don't think Oregon's there yet. But it does feel really, really satisfying to be ranked higher than Alabama this week. Just going to throw that out there.
So
Chelsea's direct quote to me this weekend is, "Don't take this from me."
But we're still ranked below Washington, which is annoying. But we're currently 21-point favorites in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a little generous. I think we're going to be like 14. I think we're going to win by like 14-17.
Yeah, I took the under on that one.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, and I don't want to say I agree with you
win.
I think the hype in that game is going to cause a closer game.
Yeah, but there's also another good Pac game.
Hold up,
the Pac-2 championship.
Hold up. 2 seconds. I want you to get into that. I want to hear about this. But really quickly, Deion Sanders did come out, because Chelsea just did a great job of saying a lot of the Deion hype is overblown. He did come out and do a great job of condemning those that were sending death threats to Henry Blackburn at Colorado State.
So did Travis Hunter.
That was happening, yeah. They were
Did you see
sending death
Travis
threats.
Hunter's statement?
Not yet.
He did a live stream in a giraffe onesie telling people to back off of him.
Henry Blackburn.
I mean, it's super unfortunate, because that was an insane game. There were disgusting plays on both sides of the ball, and this is like one of the few times that I will say on both sides there were disgusting things happening. Like, it really was just it was a mess. It was a mess. And while the hit was not great at all, I don't think anybody ever goes into another game hoping that they will absolutely wreck and destroy the other person's body. They just want to,
I watched it over and over again,
Yeah.
and I said, like, I'm gonna sound like a bad guy, but as someone that played free safety, I just, in slow motion, it absolutely looks like intentional and really dirty, but I'm thinking, I keep trying to put myself where he was, and I'm like, back in the day, now today is a different college football, I'm aware, like, we're more aware of the prospect of injury players. However, back in the day, I don't know that I would have pulled up. I don't know. I can't say I would have, and I can't say I wouldn't have. Right? Because I'm watching it in real time over and over again. I was like, yes, did he have an opportunity to pull up? Absolutely. However, in real time, how fast the game moves, you just don't know. And sometimes, I'm not saying he did this before I get aggregated, but sometimes you hit somebody else to protect yourself. You hit to not get hit. And that one is just hard to hit on. Now, Wes, what were you saying about the Pac-2 championship?
Well, so real quick before I get into that, so the Colorado versus Colorado State game, it had ESPN's 5th highest TV ratings in history and the highest ever for that time slot.
Colorado versus Colorado State.
And it went until 3 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, no, I was watching it. I woke up and got to see the end of the game.
Yeah, it went later than the Pac-12 After Dark time slot that started after that game because of how many penalties there were. It just slowed the game down so much. But
moving on, though, we got the Pac-2 championship coming up. Ranked Oregon State versus ranked Washington State. And in my opinion, this should have been the College Game Day game.
Yeah, probably.
But it's kind of cool because Oregon State and Washington State, so the guy who who organizes the flag flying for Washington State at game day got in touch with Oregon State a few weeks ago, and now they're shipping the Oregon State flag with every Washington State flag. So it's going to be flying at all the game days for the rest of the season. And I really wish good things for those teams. I think they're getting a raw deal. And I think it's going to be a good game. I hope they keep winning.
I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Now, we could literally talk college football all day long with next week's slate of games. Next week's slate of games is absolutely batty. Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's insane. So we're going to do it. I promise we'll recap them all. We're going to be showing the show now on Tuesday nights moving forward, okay? So we're going to be right after the games. We're going to have your analysis. We're going to tell you exactly what happened. Wes isn't too keen on it because it's like directly after the Monday night game or perhaps during like the final 5 minutes of the Monday night game. But he's agreed to do it because he loves you guys. All right? So we are going to review directly after the games. Now, as we wrap, Chelsea, the WNBA playoffs, are we just on a crash course of Liberty versus the Aces in the finals?
It certainly looks like it, and I am pumped.
I want to see the super teams. Don't call me not a futurist. I want this.
I do. It's I'm excited to see it. I mean, I love Sabrina. I love all the girls on the Aces. They're incredible. They're playing just lights out, like Asha Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu. Like, these women are phenomenal, like, on both of these teams. And
Kelsey Plum.
Yep, Kelsey Plum. There we go. There's just if you don't know these names, like, go figure it out. Like, go watch it, because like these aren't just like random people we're talking about. We're talking about like women who are at the top of the game, and they deserve they deserve some credit. So I'm excited to watch some of these playoff games. Looks like the next series, the Sun and the Minnesota Lynx are still playing right now. They're 1-1 because the other two teams got swept. But the next round begins the semifinals on September 24th.
Yeah, and I think the Las Vegas Aces are stacked. The Liberty are stacked. That game's going to be so much fun to watch. You need to tune. If you want to see good basketball, tune into that game. And also, if you don't think these women aren't athletes, right? Not only will their play on court prove you wrong, but go YouTube the video of Kelsey Plum becoming a human t-shirt cannon and chucking a t-shirt like 3 rows deep into the ceiling of a stadium. All right, that's one of my favorite videos. Is her rocket arm. Now, I want to end the show with this. Would you go to a pool party hosted by Luka Doncic?
Hell yeah.
So it looks like in his home country, he's hosting a 3-on-3 tournament on the water, right? Are we? I'd be concerned if Wes was there, because Wes, I don't know if you know this about Wesley, he turns into a clown ass 12-year-old around water.
He does.
Yeah. Yeah.
My favorite picture of my brother of all time is him wearing an American flag Speedo and doing a backflip into the University of Washington fountain.
That was the last day of school of my undergrad.
Yeah. So that's who my brother is. Clown.
I've seen Wes in an American flag Speedo way too many times than I should have ever had to do that.
You're welcome. It's not gonna stop.
So what do we think about this tournament? Like, I think it's kind of cool. I was like, this concept is actually kind of awesome.
I think it's amazing. It's, you know, just like we love like the Frozen Four where they, you know, ice over a football field. Like, I think just having these competitions in these really interesting, especially where he posted this picture, it is absolutely
beautiful,
gorgeous. The deck that they're going to be playing on is big enough that it's going to be more or less stable. It's just going to be funny when you have, what are you going to do? Have like ball boys row out there and go balls and throw it back? Yeah,
I bet it's going to be surrounded by people on boats. I do. I bet like people in like kayaks and things like that, they'll be all around there.
Yeah, no, it looks like a lot of fun.
What do you do when Luka capsizes your kayak? When he goes in for a layup and he goes a little too hard and he overshoots it and goes into the water and lands right on your cat. Ooh.
What if they get some waves, though? That sounds like a surefire recipe for breaking ankles.
So do you...
It's a lake?
Yeah, that's true, but like boats cause wakes. No wake zone. No, remember we got yelled at, Wes, on Lake Washington for creating a wake by that old man? So, what could you imagine? So, but just follow us, Chelsea, because you're absolutely right. It's on a lake. Do you remember when you're on a trampoline and you with a couple friends and you're jumping and you're like, okay, you guys jump at the same time so that when I jump, I go extra high?
Yeah.
Yep.
Could that happen to the basketball if like a little wake hits and then you bounce the basketball shoots up into the air?
Just pops up? Maybe, but I really hope they're like live streaming this or at least recording it, because I would like to see, you know, even just like a snippet of this.
I want to see NBA All-Stars on a trampoline court.
And on
I think that's just the Globetrotters.
On that note, no, it's like slam ball, right? On that note, it's been a show. It's been a hell of a show. There's so much to talk about during this time of year that we really do have to cut out a ton of stuff. Trust me. There's a lot of things left on the cutting room floor that we would love to talk about. Congratulations to Penix for having 375 yards in the first half. And congratulations to us. This has been the Sad Fan Podcast on the Sad Fan Podcast Network, where you can follow all of our shows. Just click on our link tree and it'll take you to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or everywhere where you can get your podcast. Thanks so much for joining us this week. And thank you so much for joining us each and every week. We will see you next week.